up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele. And welcome to Spitballin. Spitballin.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? This is Sal Kalani and Reggie playing video in the background steel.
Welcome to Spitballin. See, this is the problem, folks. This is the problem with not having the ability to start recording, is that I'm in the middle of something and Sal just like record. And then I'm
Dude,
like,
you guys, I'm telling them about this clip I want to play. I'm going to play it for you. It's like a minute and a half. And Reggie's like, well, I found the 11-minute version. I'm going to sit here and listen to the whole goddamn thing right now.
because I want to hear the whole thing in context.
But
You know how in this society we like to take a little bit of thing and then pull it out, right? I like to see the thing in the context of the whole thing
in your own time.
And that's the other problem. We didn't discuss it until now, but that's okay. Let's go. It's all good.
I'll
watch it later.
But everybody's
really
seen it. I mean, I don't know how you haven't seen it already. Aren't you on the socials? There was a viral a week ago.
Hey, dude, I'm telling you right now, at this point in my life, I'm barely on Instagram. I don't have TikTok. I'm barely on Facebook. I kind of glance there every once in a while. Like I don't watch the national news. I don't watch the local news. I kind of scroll through stuff every once in a while, but yeah, man, I'm unplugged.
So you have no idea what's going on in the world.
I have a slight idea. And I'm
you
being
are
honest
like
with you.
The Last of Us. You're just out there with no technology.
Hey, dude, I just realized that whenever I start scrolling through my phone, the moment I do this, my thumb goes up, it's over. It's like I've lost so much time. Plus, I got so much stuff happening in my
What about all your what about your bathroom time? Isn't that good phone time?
Yeah, that's when I catch up. That gives me a good 2 hours to catch up.
So yeah, if it depends on what you've been eating, it depends how much you know what's going on in the world.
Yeah, really. Nah, man, I just I mean, it's let me see, how do I say this? I check things, but I'm just not checking often, right? Like I'm not glued to what's happening all the time, but I go glance just to kind of keep abreast of what is happening.
I wake up in the morning, I open up a couple news apps, see what's happening in the world. I always liked that. I saw this interview or something about Chris Rock was I don't know, after his second or third special, and they're interviewing him, and he has like this is back in the early 2000s.
Newspapers.
Yeah. And he's like, I read them all, right? Every day, figure it out what's going on. Because that's how, as a comic, you stay in touch with the society
in the world, and what's happening and how people are responding and dealing with things. Yeah, I get it. I don't deny that it's probably good. I think that with all those things, it needs a balance, though. I think it needs a balance. And I find myself, I'm kind of over the algorithm. Right. The fact
that happens a lot. Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah. Every time I talk about something, I could talk about something on the phone. I could text about something. I could search for something. And then the algorithm extrapolates all that stuff. And then I'm constantly bombarded with similar things. And I'm kind of like, I'm over it. I'm over being sold to all the time. Look, and advertisement doesn't really work on me. I just buy what I want, right? When I want it, or I don't buy it. But, yeah, I'm kind of over being sold everything, trying to direct marketing, right?
Right.
Like, so
I heard. I think I got this. I hope.
Well, let's set it up. Set it up for people. So it's Jon Stewart talking about
Jon Stewart with this state senator now, not a national senator. The state ones are a little dimmer. So, state senator from Oklahoma. You can check the whole 11-minute video out there somewhere. Reggie has it, but this is a quick wrap up of how he totally burns this guy. Here we go.
You want to ban drag show readings to children?
To minors, yes.
Why?
Why?
What are you protecting?
Why can we prohibit children from voting, those under 18 from voting?
Why are you banning?
Also that
is that free speech? Are you infringing on that performer's free speech?
They can continue to exercise their free speech, just not in front of a child.
Why?
Because the government does have a responsibility to protect.
I'm sorry?
The government does have a responsibility in certain instances to
What's
protect
the
children.
leading cause of death amongst children in this country? And I'm going to give you a hint. It's not drag show readings to children.
Correct, yes.
So what is it?
I'm presuming you're going to say it's firearms.
No, I'm not going to say it like it's an opinion. That's what it is. It's firearms. More than cancer, more than car accidents. And what you're telling me is you don't mind infringing free speech to protect children from this amorphous thing that you think of. But when it comes to children that have died, you don't give a to stop that, because that shall not be infringed. That is hypocrisy at its highest order.
Boom. Now the best is when he says flying fuck, but you know, they bleep that out.
Yeah, I think the flying fuck didn't fly for me only because I feel how passionate he is. And I think that Jon Stewart does an amazing job of being able to express himself passionately, clearly, eloquently, intelligently. But when he goes to the flying fuck, then that shows the raw emotion kind of took over in the
Well,
moment.
it needs to be said already. He's already did it.
But he's already said
Barry.
it. And but
He's
look,
already said
I
it nicely.
I agree with him.
And
100%.
because he said it like that is why it's viral.
Yeah, and it's, you know, people like to see people get burned, right? Like
God,
disrespected in a certain way.
Sorry, what was that? It's
Yeah.
just all total hypocrisy, man. The government's got to jump in for the drag shows, but don't jump in on what's killing kids. So that what made me think of that too was because this morning there was another story in Texas. A 3-year-old shot a 4-year-old to death, and they're
my
just
God.
hanging out in Texas with a couple of parents. No one's watching the kids. He goes and gets a semi-automatic out of whatever room, and they hear the gunshot and they all go in, and that's what happened. And it's just
Oh my
like,
God.
and these parents should be punished. Like, you're not responsible enough to handle a firearm. You just leave it laying around that a 3-year-old could grab a loaded gun. You should be punished for that.
Wow. Were they siblings?
I don't think so. I think they were like friends. They had different parents. And
Oh my God.
oh yeah, dude, that
Oh my
friendship's
God.
over.
Oh my God. That's devastating. I mean, a child killing another child. I mean, that's just
It was just like how that 6-year-old killed that teacher or shot the teacher, didn't kill it. But again, parents left access to the gun. Tough times, man.
Man, I just that's just devastating. That's devastating.
Does that mess with you more because you're a parent now?
Oh my God. Yeah, as a parent, I mean, it's as a parent, the last thing that you ever want to do is outlive your child. And I don't care
Right.
what age that is, right? Like
right.
you to outlive your child and then to have a child taken from you in your presence, right? Just in the other room, you hear the moment. Everything's fine up into a sound, and then your whole world changes by another child who has no clue, no understanding, right? No point of reference.
They don't even know what they're doing.
Don't even know what they're doing. But I bet you know why they know what they're doing? Because they've probably been watching way too much. A 3-year-old.
I mean, that's true. Like, how do you even know to pick it up and aim it?
Exactly. Because they've been watching way too much stuff that does not fit their developmental level and understanding. But that's a whole conversation about parenting. And look, people go batshit when you try to tell them, well, maybe kids shouldn't be watching shows with cops and robbers and guns and blasters and shooting people. Because in the cartoon, the guy gets shot and all he does is has ash on him. His hair is all back.
Right.
But it's funny in the cartoon, but in real life, it's devastating and life altering. So my condolences to the family that lost their kid, man. And I feel so bad for the family whose gun was accessed, because that's negligence, and that negligence led to the death of a child by another child. And it goes back to what we're talking about with Jon Stewart, and you know, this guy talking about, well, we don't want drag queen shows to be available to children, but guns are okay, right? Guns are, because more kids are being killed by. Show me one instance where a kid got killed at a drag queen show.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's like whatever you can use to, get people riled up, abortion, gay issues, women, whatever. They get riled up. And that's what people fuel in, like, you look away from common sense. Well, guns are the number one killer of children in this country, but the people that are riled up really like them. And we don't want to lose those votes. So we're just going to ignore that problem. And let's just say it's trans. Yeah, blame them. They're weird. We'll fucking blame them.
And drag queens aren't even trans. Drag queens
Right.
are
No,
just
the drag
dudes that
queen,
just
yeah.
like to dress up in
Yeah.
women's clothing and dance and sing.
Yeah.
They're like, look, my idol was Barbara Streisand or Madonna or Whitney Houston or whoever else. And so I want the opportunity to dress up like her and sing the song as a tribute and
Right.
perform, right? Like, or whatever. So it's not even it's not even that level.
Yeah,
It's really and how are
stupid.
children having access to those events? Because those are adult events, right? Like usually. So
I don't know. I think there's some kind of regular public
parade,
park.
a
Yeah,
parade.
some kind of thing. It's whatever it is. It's not a big deal. And
Dude, when was the last time you seen two drag
I
queens?
never saw. Yeah, I never saw drag queen.
Yeah, in regular society.
It's like
So
no one's not. It's an issue they're trying to make up, and
Yeah.
it's pathetic.
It's
and
pathetic.
it's yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so eventually you just gotta yell flying fuck,
Yeah. I just, man, Jon Stewart, I would love for him to run for office.
Oh, I'd vote
because-
for him, dude.
Oh, I'd vote for him in a heartbeat. Or either he runs for office or he just continues to have a platform where he can express his knowledge and ideas.
Well, that's his show, I believe, on Apple Plus, the last word.
Okay.
So that's what he got that from.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Well,
No, I mean,
watch that.
it hasn't been the same. In the Daily Show, he was the king.
Yeah, I thought Trevor Noah did a pretty good job. I didn't watch a lot of it, but the stuff that I did see, I felt like Trevor had a firm grasp on
I
what
mean,
was
not many
happening.
people watched it then. I mean, of course he did, but Jon Stewart was just a whole nother level.
Well, and Jon Stewart created it. You understand? Like,
Right. And remember
No.
there was before him, there was
Craig Kilborn. I know.
Yeah.
Craig
That's
Kilborn.
right.
When I say that Jon Stewart created it, Jon Stewart bucked the system. He, just having talked to people who've been on the show, Jon Stewart deliberately and actively went against what the writers were trying to do. They wanted to create a more comedy, lighthearted Daily Show.
Right.
And he fought and pushed for a more serious and more engaging and maybe dare I say intense.
Well, you definitely
right?
take it more serious
Definitely more serious
because it's
And
more
so-
like newsworthy.
newsworthy and strongly opinionated, right? With laughs. The laughs were different. The laughs that he created were different than the laughs.
You go
that
after Fox News all the time, which is funny.
He created laughs that were based on the hypocrisy. They wanted to create laughs based on the differences, right? Of
Right.
Like, oh, these guys want to do the thing. Where he's like, these guys did this thing and they said this. They said they
Right.
weren't going to do it and then they did it. That's the hypocrisy. So he had more of a heady laugh. They wanted a more hearty, ha laugh. And so
Right. They wanted a surface laugh.
a surface laugh.
And he went deep into the ocean.
and he created a show that was phenomenal. And I think Trevor, from my understanding, Trevor tried to do the same thing, but he didn't have the same weight as Jon Stewart.
Well,
And so
he had a
kinda-
tough position. Nobody knew him either. They just throw him into this big show.
Yeah, exactly. He's a smart guy, though. Smart guy, has the ability to take in information, digest and regurgitate whatever and process that stuff. But so there ended up being a little tug of war there as the seasons went on and he started to kind of realize what was going on. Then he started to push back against it a little bit. And I think finally I think a part of that is what led to him being like, all right, I'm out. So now the biggest thing has been, at least from my understanding, is that going forward, who's going to take that position?
Yeah. So who's going to win it now? Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, they've had Chelsea Handler a few times. They've had Sarah Silverman a few times. I saw Hassan was there.
Hassan did
Hassan.
it. He did. Hassan did great. I thought he got to do Giannis. He interviewed Giannis the first game night. I'm like, this dude gets to interview all his basketball fans.
Yeah, but he's an NBA dude. But man,
Yeah.
there was a part on the Giannis interview where I was like, yo, Giannis, don't say that shit, dude. Don't.
What
let
are
them
Giannis?
say-
Oh, I love when he was making him say mean
where
stuff.
Dude, he said, the thing that he said about KD, KD win a championship without joining a super team and let's work out together because I can show you how to lead a team to a championship.
I missed that part.
Right. He said that. And then after he said it, because he was reading it, right? And then after he said it, he goes, where's the camera? And he finds the camera. And he goes, KD, you were my favorite player growing up. No disrespect. I really admire you. And Hassan was like, no, it's entertainment. Oh, no.
I
Like, you
remember that.
ruined it.
That's right.
And I'm up here thinking, I'm like, Giannis, this is your profession, dude. This is your job, right? Like, you can't disrespect your peers for a TV show. There's no way. There's no way.
No, it's just being silly though. He's just
Dude.
reading it.
And so this is where we differ from being a serious athlete on one level, having done it. The last thing you ever want to do is disrespect your peers. And this is a club, man. It's only 450 people in the league. You never want to disrespect your peers, especially someone of his caliber, because you have to play against him. You have to meet him. And you admire his work ethic. You admire his skill set. You just said he's your favorite player. And now for a TV show, which when taken out of context, they can make it sound like, oh, wow, he's totally disrespecting KD.
Well,
right?
look,
that was
off,
a young moment. I think that was a teachable and young moment for Giannis, because I promise you going forward, he'll never make that mistake again.
Look, first off, Giannis has a point. I mean, the dude just joining super teams, you know, who gives a shit, KD? Speaking of, this is what basketball is, baby. I'm loving you seeing Dillon Brooks over there in Memphis. So Dillon Brooks talking shit with Draymond, crushed the Warriors without Ja last week. Went up to every one of them and talked shit at the end of the game. Then I told the interview afterwards, you know, maybe Draymond got to just focus on that podcast more. It's cute. And then they played the Mavs the next night, and Dillon Brooks and Luka couldn't make it. He's sitting, and Dillon Brooks goes
about the physical play.
Yeah, it goes to show that sometimes they ain't ready to come back to a physical game.
You know,
dude.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Dillon Brooks, if he played in the 90s with all the enforcers in the 90s, because Dillon Brooks, if you look at him, Dillon Brooks physically, he's about 6'6". He got a little size for today's league, but in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, hey, dude, when I say enforcers that would have come through at 6'10", 260 pounds, all muscle, dudes used to get teeth knocked out, bro. Catching elbows on a rebound. Wow. Dillon Brooks, the reason he can talk now is because today's league is different, right? It's a younger league, right? You don't have as many veterans, right? Savvy veterans. The game is different. I watched Dillon Brooks, and personally, I'm like, if you can play, just play. If you're strong defensively, then be strong defensively, right? But all the talking, the jibber jabber, and the getting up in people's faces, I'm like, what part of the game is that? Right? Like,
that's the fun part.
That's not the fun part. That's disrespecting the game, dude. You know who else disrespects the game? Is Grayson Allen, the dude from Duke. Do you know Grayson?
I don't even know. No, it was college. What's college guy getting?
No, he played at Duke. Where's he at now? If you look at he's with I think he's with the Bucks now. If you look at Grayson Allen, he is arguably, hands down, and I'm saying worse than Chris Paul. He's worse than Chris Paul. He is arguably the dirtiest basketball player I've ever seen in my life. And I'm talking about tripping, hitting, pushing, elbowing, slapping. Just it's a level of play that's just is so disrespectful to the game that every time I watch him and there's an area to comment on something that he's done, I legitimately write, he should be out of the league. The dude doesn't deserve to play. He doesn't deserve to be called a professional athlete on any level.
Shaquille had a funny line between the Brooks and Draymond Green beef. He said, this rivalry is funny to me. It's really just two trash ass players beefing over who's more butt.
Shaq don't give a shit. Shaq will say anything. And you know what? I'm not gonna call Draymond trash, only because Draymond was really lucky that he ended up on the right team.
Well, that's what Brooks started all this, because we wouldn't even know who Draymond Green was if he wasn't on the fucking Warriors. And absolutely. I agree.
Absolutely. 100%. But hey, look, hey man, the dude was picked by the right team. and he's playing with the right players in his right system, and the dude got 4 championships. So I think Brooks probably need to shut the hell up, right? Because we only know him because he's talking trash. It's not that we're talking about his game. We're not talking about.
Hey, what's gonna happen with Ja, dude? What the fuck?
Dude,
we're talking a lot sports right now. Sorry, everybody, but Ja Morant flashed a gun on Instagram, and he's the best player on their team, and he hasn't been playing since it happened.
Well, hold up.
I don't know what the hell is he walking around with a gun on in the club or whatever the fuck he's doing.
Well, okay, so Paul Pierce made a comment. He was like, "Look, man, people made death threats at me at different times based on the game. You know how you fans are. You get all crazy, and maybe the guy felt the need to have some protection, but." At this point in your life, you don't need to carry a gun. You hire people to carry the gun for you, right? And if you're in a place where you feel like you're worried about people going to take shots at you, right?
Don't go.
Then don't go. This dude. So let's just throw this out here. Ja Morant, young dude, 3rd year in the league, I think. 3rd or 4th,
yeah,
maybe
something like that.
3rd or 4th year in the league, young guy. Started the season off. This guy was literally in conversations for league MVP, most improved. Got one of the best teams in the West. He just had a signature shoe come out. He was just getting the package, meaning the advertising and the marketing package, where it's like he's with Gatorade. He's got a signature shoe. He's in the MVP conversation. He's leading a team in the toughest conference in the NBA. And then a story comes out that he potentially pulled a gun on a 17-year-old. And then to double down, he ends up on Instagram flashing a gun live, right? Which now makes the previous story sound, because at first everyone's kind of like, he probably didn't pull a gun on a 17-year-old. That's crazy. But then you flash a gun live on Instagram. Now we absolutely believe that you put a gun on a 17-year-old. And that opportunity to be the face of the league, that's taken away. Your signature shoe deal is now put on hold. Powerade or Gatorade is like, yo, we no longer want him to be a sponsor, like the face of our beverage. And we're just talking about Jon Stewart, talking about we live in a country where there are more children killed by guns, right? More than car accidents and cancer. And then here is potentially one of the face of the leagues, the future of the league, online flashing a gun. He got to be smarter. He got to surround himself with better people. But hey, look, it's a teaching lesson, and he'll get through this because we live in a society where, we build and destroy, right? And we forgive. And once he comes off of suspension, he'll come back. People they'll feel a certain type of way. And then he'll drop something like 55, right?
And we'll all be cool with it.
He'll dunk on a couple people and they'll be like, oh man, that Ja Morant, he's really good. And then the whole gun thing will disappear. So he just got to weather the storm. But
he's got to win some games.
You got to win some games, weather the storm. And then he's just got to make better decisions going forward, man. It's the same thing when you hear about people who get DUIs.
He said he beat up the 17-year-old too. It's like, what are you
beat up a 17-year-old?
So the 17-year-old, they were playing a pickup game at Ja's house, and he got mad at this kid, and he started hitting him and beating him up, and then went in the house and got a gun. And that's what.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man. It's like, what are you doing, bro?
You need therapy, bro.
And look, if someone gets to play an NBA star, if you're in high school, you're going to do whatever. And, but you can't let that bother you anymore. I mean, I get they're so competitive, but bro, you got a whole nother thing. You got a career. You don't need to worry about this high school.
This is a kid, man. Who cares what a kid thinks?
I know.
If the kid's if the kid's being disrespectful in your backyard playing
kick him off the field,
yeah, exactly. It's like, yo, get out of here, man. We're not doing
this. Get one of those big dudes you hired to move them.
Exactly.
Like Tiger Woods. You see what he did to his ex? He supposedly she said he
that.
had 2 guys take her to the airport to go on vacation, and then nah, you're not getting back in his house.
Yeah, and they changed the locks.
Suing him. Yeah, now she's suing him for $30 million.
Yeah, because he was supposed to take care of me for 5 years, and he said he was gonna. Hey man, look, I don't know what the hell. Hold up. To finish this Ja thing. Hopefully, going forward from this, that he learns and he'll make better decisions. And anybody who's listening to this, if you have the means, right, to protect yourself, if you feel like you're in a position where you're a target or could potentially be a target, then you hire security to protect you. You don't carry the gun. You hire people who are licensed to do that. And if you're also in a position where you like to party and you like to drink and you want to stay out late, then you hire the car service to drop your ass off and to pick you up, you and your security, if that's what it is. So you can avoid the DUIs, you can avoid driving 120 miles an hour and running into a car and killing somebody, killing yourself or killing somebody else. Usually the drunk drivers live, so then they end up killing somebody. So it's just about making better decisions, man. Seek the help. Yeah, man. Yeah. And then
my
so
bad, dude. I totally should have been playing your music there. I wasn't.
it's
I
all
totally.
good. It's all good. But what were you just saying to finish up?
Tiger.
Tiger. And okay, so let's this ain't even gonna be funny. Actually, it might be funny. If I had one word of advice for Tiger Woods, I would say find better people, right? Date better women, right? Find somebody that you can break up with without having to tell them that you're sending them on vacation and changing the locks. Like, who are you dating that you feel like you got to be this deceptive, right? You got to be this conniving, this mean. Like, yeah, no, all expense paid trip to the Caribbean. All right. And then they get you to the airport with your bags. It's like, psych.
Psych.
You ain't going nowhere. We just had to get you out the house. Don't come back. The locks have changed. The codes have changed. We got security cameras and we got armed guards out front. Who is this woman? Right?
She
It's
just
like,
shows
dude,
up at the airport. They tell her, and she's just like,
Exactly. So now she like, oh, you ain't gonna break it with me in person. You gonna have your security break it with me. I need 30 million, right? And that was the red flag. Like that right there is enough. That's told everybody in the whole world, yo, she was not the right one, bro. He has a history of picking the wrong women, bro. It's like, dude,
yeah, dude,
do a better job.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You're so good at golf, but so bad at relationships. Not even bad at relationships. You're just bad at finding decent people to date. Think about it. When he got in trouble, first
I
off,
mean, maybe he's the problem, huh?
well, his radar is all fucked up. I'll tell you that much. The stuff that he's zeroing in on, I'm like, crazy, right? Out of control, unstable. Okay.
Well, it's like they say he was like probably like
undependable.
This nerdy kid who was mixed race kid who didn't he's always under his dad's watch, and he probably never got any girls thrown at him, and then he becomes super famous, and then he gets married, but then he keeps thinking, well, I could hook up with a hostess at Waffle House or whatever.
At the Waffle House.
I don't know what that.
Well,
but
hold
yeah,
up,
man.
This is the thing, right? I'm not even mad about that. I'm just mad about the fact that he look, because people, right? People are going to people. But if you're Tiger Woods, arguably the greatest golfer of all time, a billionaire, right? You got sponsorships, Tag Heuer, Lincoln Continental or Lincoln Vehicles, Wheaties, whatever Nike, you are on the top of the world. Hey, man, you can't be messing with the hostess at the Waffle House, bro. That's not going to cut it.
Though, unlike Ja, this is how Tiger, the billionaire, handles it. He does have his guys he hired to take care of the
problem. Exactly. Now he learned. Now, I was watching this whole thing about Tiger Woods, man, and one of the biggest mistakes Tiger Woods made, and I don't know who his PR people were or his advisors were, but when this dude got caught out there and everything came to fruition, came to the surface, came up to the surface, and everyone figured out what was going on or knew what was going on. And this dude had a press conference in front of the media, and
that's right.
And his mom is sitting there, and he's like, comes out, he's like, first, I'd like to apologize to Nike. Or I'd like to apologize.
Oh, that's right. He apologized to Nike. That was the big thing.
Yeah, I want to apologize to Elon. I want to apologize to my mother. I want to apologize to Nike and all the sponsors. Hey, man, look, okay, you banged some chicks that wasn't your wife, dude, right? That's between you and her. This ain't between the whole world. You ain't got to apologize to me. Doing this shit on TV, to the media, to the, to every news outlet standing there. I'm sorry for my actions and I will take this time to leave. No, You go sit down with this chick, you guys discuss what it is in private, and then you have your PR people make an announcement and saying, you know what, at this time I will be stepping away from golf to handle some personal affairs, and and please, we ask that you please respect our privacy in this time of sadness or whatever the case it is, right? And then you disappear, you go do a thing. You don't say anything to the media. You don't say anything to sponsors. You talk to them in private. You don't make a public apology to the whole world for some shit that you did in private. Fuck. It's like, dude, what was you thinking?
I'm trying to find that. It was a press conference.
He should have done, yeah, it was a press conference. He should have done that shit in private and then come back out after everything was over and they'd be like, so Tiger, what happens? Like, well, we figured it out and we figured that it's probably best that we go our separate ways, and we figured out what we're going to do with the kids. And yeah, I'll be playing golf next week. I'll be in this tournament, and that's it. It's like we don't need to know much more than that, right? But his problem was all the women that came forward. Every single one of them.
Right, then that's right. Then everybody came out.
Everybody came forward. It was like, oh shit, it's payday. Oh, I'm trying to get some of that billion. He told me I was the only one that he was messing with. He told me I was the only one. He told me I was the only one. It's like, yo, Tiger, you tripping, bro. You're Tiger Woods.
All right, here, hold on. Let me. I think I have it here. Let's see.
Public apology to the world.
Oh, okay, here we go. It's playing the ads. There he is. He's in his suit. Oh wait, the sound.
Good morning.
Many of you in this room are my friends.
Oh my God, this is terrible.
Many in this room know me. Many of you have cheered for me, or you worked with me, or you supported me.
Oh, such a bad look.
Every one of you has good reason to be critical of me.
Special report, Tiger Woods statement.
Each of you, simply and directly, I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Hold up, time out. Pause that shit. Pause it.
Okay.
I know people.
All right.
He literally just apologized for enjoying to fuck. He's like, I want to say I'm sorry and I apologize. I'm sincerely sorry because I like getting my dick wet with different women. It's like, dude, this was such a bad look, man. This should have never happened. I feel bad for the dude, right? Actually, I probably should have said that a different way because then that would have been allowed, because you can't put out dick wet and fuck. But this dude is like, I enjoy sexual relations with women and
with
being
Waffle
in a position,
House waitresses.
yeah, he's like, if anything, you know what he should have said? He should have said, the biggest mistake I made was getting married and trusting these hoes. Because he should have never got married, just off the top.
How I could be so selfish,
true,
so foolish.
He should have never gotten married based on who he is, what he was experiencing, what was happening in his life. The biggest mistake he made was getting married. Now, look, one of the people I love that I've admired for a long time is Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter, handsome. He plays on the New York Knicks. He's a winner. He made tons of money.
Yankees. Buddy.
I mean, I'm sorry, the Yankees, New York Yankees. He made tons of money and he dated multiple women and whatever the case may be, but the dude did not get married until he was done playing, until he was out of the public's eye. And he was like, look, I'm in a situation now where ain't nobody coming up to me all the time and I'm not being tempted in a certain way. I've removed myself from the game. And then he went and got him a bad one, some model, and then threw some babies in her, and now he's chilling, right? He got it out of his system. This dude decided to get married in the prime of his life, where it's like, yo, you're about to get more attention, more money than you've ever seen, more attention and money than people can shake a stick at, right? And then you go get married. Are you out of your fucking mind? It's like, dude, put that shit on hold, right? Focus on the fucking golf career, right? Handle all that shit. Be the greatest, unequivocally, without any debate. And then once the career is over, you're still gonna be young, or later in your life, in your mid-30s, whatever it is, late 30s, then you go get married. Go get you somebody who's like 5-7 years younger, and then you settle down when you at the end, after you've done everything. But this shit right here, this public apology, special.
Hold on, we ain't done, dude.
We can't watch the whole thing, dude.
how I could have done these things to my wife, Dillon, and to my children.
God, this is making me.
And
I just
while
love
have
watching
always
your
tried
reaction.
to be a private person,
See, he
there are some
tried.
things I want to say. Elin and I have started the process of discussing the damage caused by my behavior.
Yeah.
As Elin pointed
It's
out
over,
to me,
dude. It's not going to
my
work, bro.
real apology to her will not come in the form of words. It will come from my behavior over time.
Hey, cut this shit
We have a
off.
lot
I
to
can't
discuss.
watch this shit. It's making my stomach turn. It's making my stomach turn for real. It's making me sick physically. I'm seriously getting physically ill. Like I want to throw up. My
All right, let's
apology.
wrap up with the Oscars, Reg.
My
Your
apology
buddy
to her
Tiger.
will not come in the form of words. It'll come in my actions. And Elin's like, yeah, your action need to be the sign right here on the dotted line so I can get my 500 million, get the hell out of here. Right? It's like, it's over, bro. It's over. That was so bad, man. I swear. He has to look back at that and go, why? Why did I feel the need to apologize publicly to the world? Because
Well,
of my
easy.
sexual proclivities, because
No.
I enjoy.
Because he wants to keep that Nike contract.
Exactly.
That's all it was, bro. He wanted to keep getting paid.
And you know what this is what he should have said. And this is the apology that he needed. This is it. Special report, Tiger Woods statement. As you all know, there's been a lot of revelations about some things that I've done, things that I participated in. And I just want to say to all my sponsors, I apologize for putting you in this position. I will work better I'll do the best I can to improve myself and to be a better person going forward so that I can represent you well. With that said, my family and I will be taking I'll be taking a leave of absence from golf, and I will be handling this with my family in privacy. I ask you guys all respect that. And yeah, I'll see you next season. Okay. Come on.
I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, as a Nike exec, I'd be watching and be like, I think you should make your apology more public.
Exactly.
More embarrassing.
Nope. I would have just been like, look, I'll discuss with my family. And then after leaving for 6 weeks, then, look, what did he say? He was like, I suffer from sexual addiction. Dude, you're a guy, you're alive, you have testosterone, you got money, you got opportunity, you got women that are coming at you. Of course you suffer from sexual addiction. Every dude alive suffers from sexual addiction, right? You just got opportunities to explore it. So whatever you got to do.
And you were sloppy.
And you were sloppy, bro. So he should have just I wish I had known him. I would have been like, yo, just take the time.
I wish I would have known him.
I wish I would have known him. I'd be like, all right, dude, look, you fucked up big time. You did. You fucked up big time. You picked all the wrong women. They all putting you on blast. Let him say whatever. They should have passed.
His wife attacked him with a golf club too. Remember that?
Well, yeah, because that's how he got into the car accident. He left the house.
Yeah.
All right. She beat up the car. And you know how I would respond to that? I'd be like, I'm sure that you all heard that Elin and I had a disagreement, and resulted in her destroying our family vehicle. I'll be talking to State Farm about trying to get the vehicle fixed.
Whoever sponsors my whatever insurance company I do commercials for will be checking it.
Yes, exactly. It's like, as you know, as a spokesman for State Farm, I'll be giving you a call, right? Because State Farm is there.
To put you in this
right?
position.
I put you in this position, but you know what? I've been paying for insurance because the whole thing with insurance is that you're there just in case. Well,
yeah.
Here's my case, right?
I'll make some birdies next week.
Yeah, it's just whack, yo. It's just whack. It was whack. He didn't need to do all that. It was too much. And then it just and hold up. Last thing I'll say, and then we can go into the Oscars, is this. Nike has proven that no matter what you do, no matter how bad it is, no matter how much the world is against you, you can lose your car sponsorships, you can lose your not your shoes, but you can lose your car sponsorship, you can lose your insurance sponsorship, you can lose your watch sponsorship. Everyone can walk away from you because you did something morally questionable, all right? Or you did something that doesn't fit their opinion of you. Nike's like, we're with you. We'll weather the storm. It's a storm because
I
we
mean,
know you'll be back.
I don't know if that's true for Kyrie Irving.
Well, Kyrie has left. I mean, plus he went anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
Right?
he has like Yeezy, like
Yeah, he went
you
racist.
know,
You
with
can't
all
go
the
racist.
shoes.
You can't go racist. You can't go racist.
You know, I
can-
was thinking about Tiger's wife. It made me think of that Richard Pryor joke because she's like Richard Pryor, where he's like, all I did was kill the car. My wife said she was leaving me. I said, not this motherfucker, you ain't.
and he went out and he's like,
Yeah,
I
he
shot the tires.
tire.
Right?
Yeah, he's
And
like,
he goes, and then the
yeah.
cop showed up.
No,
And the
wait.
cop showed up.
Before that, he's got to go. And then Ivanka said, "Go ahead, shoot something else."
She was something else. He's like, I shot the tire. It's like, wah. And I was like, ooh, that got good to me. I shot another tire. Wah. And then I shot the engine. And when the engine jumped out the car and ran away, he ran out the car. And then the cops showed up. And I went inside because cops don't kill cars. Cops kill niggas. Okay.
It's so good. He
It's so
says how
good.
he
It's
says
so
it.
good. Yes. So yeah, man. That's how.
So yeah, she was just killing the car. All right, so here we go. We'll wrap up with our little what happened with the Oscars. Reggie says in 10 episodes we're gonna have a 2-time Oscar winner on. We'll see if he's bullshitting us, everybody.
Oh yeah, I guess when we get to 100, huh? That's what I said. I'll talk to him. I just talked to him yesterday, actually. Talked to him the day before yesterday.
I was, you know, it's funny. I saw Mahershala on TV last night. Moonlighting was on, and I'm one of those people like if there's a movie and it's good, I like if it's a good scene, I'll just watch it right there. That scene, like I won't have to watch the whole movie, but I watched that scene, and I think it was because in Moonlighting, he's just in like the beginning, right? Like once the kid becomes a teenager, he's out.
Yeah, he's
right?
in the first. It's broken to 3 vignettes. He's in the first vignette. Yeah.
So I think I saw just the very end of the first vignette when the kid's asking him, you know, because his mom calls him the F word and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's asking him
like,
about it. And then, but then he tells him how he sells drugs.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you right now, that scene.
But that was really good. Like he was really good, and he's like almost about to cry. And like, and I guess I would imagine that was his Oscar speech, really, because I don't remember much. I have to watch the whole vignette again, that part. But that ending was a very powerful speech with him and that kid.
Yeah, I think that part was very powerful. I think him talking to the people on the street, like you know, like kind of showing up as the guy, right? Like as Juan, the drug dealer, and like I don't know what's happening in my throat, but that whole first part, he literally, I mean, he not that he carried it, but I mean his every scene he was in was just like spot on. And this is the best thing. This is the best thing about that movie and his role in that movie is that even though he wasn't in the second and third vignette, his impact was so powerful in this kid's life that he still influenced him. So even though you didn't see him physically, you still felt his presence. Even to the last vignette where the guy is driving the very similar, he's basically driving the same car. He's got the same little crown on the dash. He's kind of carrying himself the same way. It's like he patterned himself after Juan, which in essence kept Juan alive throughout the whole movie, even though he had passed.
You know that's interesting. Look at you.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. I mean, it's a cool character, open-minded drug dealer. It's, you know, you don't, you know, that's different.
Yeah.
So best picture. Did you watch all these best picture nominees, Reg?
I watched the winner, Everything Everywhere.
Yeah, I watched 5 of the 10. So let's see. It was All Quiet on the Western Front, which is on Netflix. World War I movie. Yeah, I heard it was on the mood. I'm on the mood to watch
I heard it was
a 2-hour war movie every year. Next, Avatar. Fine. Liked it the first time. Whatever. I didn't think it was gonna win. It's all right. The Banshees of Inisherin. That was that one. Okay. Yeah, I think that's on HBO. It's the Irish one. It's cool. It's a little depressing.
Oh, is that the one with
it's funny
Colin
and
Farrell?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard about that one, but I didn't watch
it. It's cool, but it was one of those where I'm like, I didn't like the endings kind of thing.
Okay.
The Fablemans I didn't see. That's the Spielberg one. Tar I didn't see. Triangle Sadness and Women Talking I didn't see. And then there's Top Gun Maverick, which I did see.
I saw that and I thought it was okay. But
when Tom Cruise takes off in the plane, that's pretty fucking cool because you're like, well, you ain't faking this.
Yeah. You know what though? It's funny because It's funny you mentioned that because this morning, as I was dropping Theo off at school, he goes, his best friend Dastan. He goes, Papa, Dastan told me I need to watch Top Gun. What's Top Gun? And I kind of explained, I was like, it's a movie about fighter pilots, and there's a situation that, that could potentially become a problem for national security. And he's got a best friend, Goose, and this guy, Maverick, and whatever. And I was like, and this is what I said. I go, a lot of people love that movie. It's all right. It's like, it just didn't impact me like that. Like, and look, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I watched Star Wars and I did not become like a Star Wars fan, right? I watched Top Gun. I was like, all right, it was just another movie. But people went crazy. And now that I've watched it again as an adult, I go, it's not even that great. Like, the story's not even that great. Let's just be honest. The story's
well,
not
in
even
the
that great.
80s, it was so cool to be talking about F-16s or whatever, I guess. And then, but I did watch the original before watching the sequel, and it was nice how they did a little connections and stuff to each other, but whatever. Oh, I forgot Elvis was Best Picture too. I saw that one.
I
but
heard
that got
was
smoked. Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once won everything, but basically Best Picture, Director, they got Best Actor, they got Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress. But they didn't get they also got Best Actress, but they didn't get Best Actor, which they didn't even have an option. That went to, of course, Brendan Fraser, The Whale. I hadn't seen that. Some people are upset because they say it's like fat phobic because they're making them putting it on this costume and stuff, and it's like a play. It's all in one room, but I don't know.
Phobic. How's it fat phobic? They're
making them wear, making it like, ripping on fat people, kind of like the way they put them in this costume and stuff.
Hold on.
I guess when he's eating, they turn the sound up on the food way more. Like this. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Hey, man, look, it's still acting. It's still telling a story. And I know people are probably upset because they're like, how come you just couldn't find a real fat person to do it? Maybe they couldn't find a real, really big person who can act really well.
Remember Gilbert Grape?
Yes, the mom.
What's eating Gilbert Grape? The mom, the way they found the mom was she was on like Jerry Springer or something. And it was one of those stories that people were way away. And that's how they found her. And goddamn, she could act. She was really good at that movie.
She did a good job, but her parts were small, right? It was more about Johnny Depp.
The main, right.
Yeah, exactly.
And Leo, right.
Yeah. So in this one, Brendan Fraser, he is carrying the movie, right? Like, it's all him. So you got to have somebody who has acting chops. I get it. And it wasn't like the movie that Jack Black did with Gwyneth Paltrow, where she was in a fat.
Oh, Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal. It wasn't that, right?
No, this is real. No, this is real. More serious.
This is more
serious. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it. I just saw. No, I didn't see it, but I saw. I guess I saw a review of it, and then I saw parts of it. Like, I saw where they were talking about the costumes and Brendan Fraser, which was interesting because Brendan Fraser was huge in the 90s with his, mummy movies and Curious George and some other stuff. And then that dude disappeared. He couldn't get a job for like a decade.
It's funny, him and the guy who in the movie Everything Everywhere, they both like what's his name? Ki Woon Kwan, the guy who plays Short Round in Data. He did Encino Man with Brendan Fraser. And then they both disappeared.
And
now they both won Oscars last night.
And he was the guy from Indiana Jones. He was a kid.
Short
Indiana
Round,
Jones.
Temple of Doom. So it was funny. Harrison Ford was there to give them the best picture. So he's hanging with Harrison. Steven Spielberg's there because he has a movie. Brendan Fraser's there. So it's like all these people. The only few people he did come up with, I happen to be there on the return.
Dude, that's awesome.
And it's like crazy. Harrison Ford's never won an Oscar. He's only been nominated once. And I didn't even know some movie in the 80s called Witness. I never even.
Wow. That's amazing. People were really upset that Angela Bassett didn't win. I saw that.
Yeah, she won what? Like, she won one of the awards. I don't know if it was
she didn't win an
or
Oscar.
SAG. No, not an Oscar.
Oh,
then last
SAG.
night, they gave but Jamie Lee Curtis, another one, never won until last night.
But I don't know if Jamie Lee Curtis has the catalog of like serious roles of like carrying, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if Jamie Lee, I don't know her catalog like that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I liked her in Trading Places. That was cool when she talks about working with Eddie, because Eddie was the young one then at the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
He was the newbie. It was so weird.
Well, I just want to
But
say
yeah,
props to Brendan Fraser. This dude he couldn't find a job for a decade, and it felt like the industry didn't like him. And then he showed up in costume, and they didn't even know it was
yeah,
him.
that's all you gotta do.
He showed up in costume, and they were like, "This dude could act." The Oscar goes to Brendan Fraser. Like,
They also won Best Makeup, The Whale.
yeah, the makeup. When I saw this dude in the prosthetics, I was like, "Whoa!"
I mean, it does look,
Like,
yeah, it's way more real than you're right, like Shallow Hal or
Shallow
whatever
Hal,
the
that was all
fuck.
bad. So, yeah, man, it's
Oh.
kind of crazy. But the thing that I wanted to say about the whole thing that I was really upset about, and I didn't watch it, right? I didn't watch it, but the thing that bothered me was um, that there was no nomination for the Woman King. I thought it was a really
Yeah,
great story. I thought it was a really good movie. And to be honest with you, anytime Viola Davis does anything, she needs to be nominated. Period. If there was home video of her getting up in the middle of the night to go in and take a piss, that shit should be nominated because she's phenomenal, bro. I promise you, she's so good.
yeah, was
If
she
there
not
was,
even nominated?
she's not
Wow.
nominated. She's not nominated. The Woman King is not
Because
nominated. It
she
was so good.
won, I don't think she won either the SAG or a Globe, and she did a speech which was amazing. And I was like, wow. But yeah, wow, that's crazy. Well, I'll have to watch it. It's based off a true story too, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I gotta watch it.
But yeah, I feel like she's kind of like, not to just pick another person who's of African American descent or black, but it's kind of like with Denzel, right? Like Denzel is just, he's so good in pretty much everything that he's done and that he
Mhm.
does to some degree, that you feel like he could probably be nominated for some part of something, right? In some way. For her, I feel like it's the same thing. I really feel like, because in The Woman King, there was one scene, I'm telling you right, man, tell you right now, dude, there was one scene that was so inspiring that watching her, I was like, yo, I got to take acting classes, right? Like, I'm curious to know if I could reach that level of concentration and focus, right? Like, do I have the capacity or the ability to buy so much into a character and try to tell this story, right? Tell someone else's story on this level where you embody them to the point that, like, I think what really happened was I was watching her, and then she was so deep into the character that I did not see Viola Davis anymore.
Oh, let me ask you this. It's funny you're talking about her. What about Mahershala? A two-time Oscar winner. You see him do these different parts. Are you know him well enough? Do you watch it go, it's still Mahershala, or are there times or certain roles that you lose him and you're like, oh, I don't know who this is?
Because I know him so personally, it's really hard for me to not see him, right? Or see parts of him in, like, when he was Don Shirley in Green Book, he was so deep into that character. It was so good that I did lose that sense of,
I was
like,
gonna say that one. He's really good in it.
yeah, he's
Like
really
he's
good.
so. I love that one. This is one of my
Yeah, I
favorite
love
movies.
it. And there were parts where I'm like, there's only maybe one or two moments in that movie where I was like, oh, there's the dude I know, right? Like, just a
That's good.
sliver,
That's interesting. Wow.
right? Just a sliver, because of maybe something that I, for knowing him, how he carries himself, right? How he responds, his hands, you know what I mean? How he may look. Then in that moment, it was like it was just a moment like, oh, that's my friend, and then boom, it's back to Don Shirley. No one else
Right.
would see it because they don't know him like that, right? But I will say this, in the movie that he did with Matthew McConaughey, the Jonestown movie or whatever, not Jonestown, but
Oh, the slavery movie.
yeah, the slavery movie.
Like they had their own little militia or something in Texas.
Yeah,
McConaughey was
yeah,
running. I forgot he was in that.
yeah. I forget the name of it, but
I'll
something
look it up.
Jones. But there was a point in that movie where he dies, right?
Uh-huh.
And we don't see him actually die. We just see him walking on the street, and you see these characters following him, and
All
at that time
right.
period, right? And in that time period how it was going to end. And then once it happens, it kind of, the scene cuts, and then the next scene is someone finding him, and all you see is his feet hanging, right? Feet hanging. Watching that part watching that movie at that point, like I got all verklempt. Like I got all emotional and my eyes
But
watered.
because you know him.
Because I know him, and watching him, because he was so scared as he's walking and kind of looking over his shoulder, and you could feel the fear of that moment of being a black guy on a single dirt road with a bunch of white dudes in a truck behind you or in some vehicle behind you. The fear of that moment at that time, I felt it. And when I saw his feet hanging, you know, what was supposed to be his feet hanging from that tree, I was like, I was like I had to. And I've seen him die on the screen a couple times, right? Like that was
like Predators.
Predators, but Predators wasn't so hard.
That wasn't that hard at all.
That wasn't hard. But the one where he was in Mockingjay Part 2 in the Hunger Games.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Right? As
God, he was in
as
that
security.
too. God damn. This
Like
dude's
watching
doing all
him,
right.
oh, dude. And watching him like watching him literally die on screen, I was like it just causes a reaction to me. It's weird, man, because your brain can't tell the difference between fact or fiction, right? So when you really buy into something, even though he's a character, I see him still as my friend. And watching your friend die, that shit is hard, right? So
that's so weird.
It's so weird.
So weird.
So weird.
All right, Reg, wrap us up, buddy. Good
Okay.
share.
Yeah, man. Today's episode has been really interesting. I think we went over a lot of different things in a lot of different ways.
All over the place.
We're all over the place. But hope you guys enjoyed it. We love it, and we're gonna keep doing it. So if you do enjoy it and you do like it, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next week. That's Sal Kalani.
Yeah.
And I'm Reggie Steele. And this is Spitballin'. Peace.